Hey, hey, family. Peace and love to you all. It's me, Bonnie Anahata, the aligner. And I am here today with a quick message for you all. I hope you all are doing well. Nobody's here with me yet, but I wanted to get this message off. Excuse me if my energy is a little meh. Uh, my energy is a little low due to my cycle. Yeah, but I wanted to get this message out to you all for my busy weekend that I have. It's definitely been something on my heart that I wanted to share. And it's so funny that my energy is a little meh because I'm not going to fake it. I'm not gonna fake it like my energy is, all goody goody and positive. But what I will do is, spray some of this alignment aura spray to kind of help me out and help you out. This is the lower chakra alignment spray, alignment aura spray that you all can get on artisticalignment.com. And it just helps to clear and calm the aura and mind to prepare you for your day, prepare you for anything, prepare you for your alignment exercises and everything. Welcome back, any subscribers, and welcome to any new subscribers or people that are not subscribed yet. I will at least love for you to like, share the video, and if you like it and see some other things you like, please subscribe, okay? I again am Bonnie Anahata, also known as the Aligner, and this channel is dedicated to pretty much help show you how to give yourself grace and acceptance and align yourself through life's obstacles and align yourself through all of these transitions that we face as we travel and matriculate the spiritual and awakening journey in traveling this self-development journey, but making sure that you accept and have grace throughout this entire journey for yourself, okay? And so today's video is about not faking or forcing positivity. Yeah, that's a thing. Y'all know it's a thing because that's what the toxic positivity thing is about. I mean, that toxic positivity is a real thing. And I blame a little bit of everything on it. I blame society trying to, put on this like facade, or excuse me if let me make sure this thing isn't moving too much because I know it's gonna sound like it's ruffling in the background if I'm moving too much. But I'm a Gemini rising, so I use my hands a lot, okay? So please bear with me with that. But like I was saying, when it comes to society, of course, we want to do everything perfect. We want to look like we're perfect. We want to look like we got it all together. And it's a pressure of looking like we got it all together. So we either look like we don't have emotions for that pressure of perfection, or we suppress the emotions. But it's not just about that expectation in society. It's also about even the spirituality trend, and this, you know, healing or consciousness trend that has people on this toxic positivity shit too. Okay. You know, traveling this journey in consciousness, this journey to enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, awakening. Um, we go through stages, right? We go through stages of understanding what is most important. And so, of course, I had to go through those different stages of understanding what is most important throughout my journey of consciousness and awakening. And first, you go through the part of like questioning everything, right? Of of finding the strength to question everything that you have been taught, everything that you have been raised on. Finding that strength to say, hey, I don't know if this feels right to me. So, that was that first part. That was where we was able to find the understanding, the knowledge, and the courage to reject all of the systems that we adopted throughout our lives. religion, of course, and all of the other systematic concepts that we've attached to, or taken on throughout our lives, right? So that was the first part of the journey, right? Then it came down to understanding the effect of negativity and maybe our negative nature that we tend to take on in this society where, we do a lot of complaining, where we look at things from a very um, unhealed approach and then we project them onto other people. We look at things from a very worrisome and fearful approach. And so in that second stage, we started to understand that, man, this type of mindset and these fearful uh ideologies and beliefs is making me uh we understood how it was affecting our manifestations, right? And so we in turn we understood the power of positivity, right? And we understood that, hey, we can create with our words, we can create with our positivity. If I just stay positive and I just stay on this high vibration, then I can create. So all I gotta do is stay on a high vibration. Oh, that's easy. All I gotta do is stay on a high vibration. All I gotta do is stay positive. No, it's not that simple. And the reason why we thought it was that simple is because first we came from this passion and excitement of, oh man, okay, so this is happening to me because I was being negative. Oh, well, I'm just gonna stop being negative. But the thing is, that negativity, hey baby, baby says hey. But so that sense of like positivity that we wanted to invoke and place into ourselves, because we didn't have the backstory to that or the back understanding to that, we try to force ourselves into positivity. And we try to, oh, everything is fine. Everything is fine. What's going on around me? It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm good. Not letting the emotions process within us, right? Because we know that it's a power in being positive, and it's definitely a power in being positive. But you can't fake positivity. You can't fake the universe. You can't pump fake the universe. You just can't do it, no matter how much you try to act positive. If you haven't gotten down to the deep root of why you're lacking real positivity to it, or if you are trying to ignore that you're having a reaction or that you're having a feeling towards something because you're trying to stay positive, that's inauthentic and you're not getting down to the root of the problem. So therefore, you're still going to have an issue with manifesting. You're still going to have an issue with negativity affecting you because you're not digging down to the root of it in order to be positive. Okay? So the next step when it comes to the spiritual journey and this journey to enlightenment is digging into the shadows to figure out why it was so hard to stay positive in certain areas. But the problem is, a lot of us on this spiritually trending journey get stuck in the second stage. We get stuck in that stage of, all I gotta do is stay positive. All I gotta do is stay on this high vibrational journey. No, it's not about that, because ultimately, what you're going to realize as you matriculate this spiritual journey is that it's about the importance of being authentic and truthfully and authentically letting your emotions ride and process through. Okay? And so, let me see something. Yeah. Is somebody here with me? Okay. I want to make sure that you guys are hearing me fine. Okay, all right. Thank you, Jay Valentino. I wanted to make sure that y'all was hearing me right because these headphones was doing something weird right now. Okay, all right. So y'all hearing me? Yeah, you hearing me? It's about truth. It's about your truth. So no matter how much you're trying to stay positive, and no matter how much you are trying to stay on this high vibration, if it's not truthfully happening within you, then you're missing the mark of what you're trying to do. And you're not going to manifest like you're trying to manifest with this intention to stay positive, with this intention to stay high vibrational, because that's fake high vibrational. You can't force your way into it and bypass the real emotions and bypass the real root that is within you, that is bubbling within you. You can't bypass that just to say, hey, yeah, I'm positive. I'm good. Everything's good. It's all good. No, the universe doesn't work like that. And many of us, I know this from personal understanding because, I'm a Libra sun, but my South Node is also in Libra, in which that means, your South Node is what you have already mastered in past lives, or maybe even the earlier part of this life. What you have already mastered, and what is your comfort zone, what you tend to kind of retreat back to. So, in past lives and in the earlier part of this life, I was about, a lot of people pleasing. And so, being in a lot of people pleasing, I wanted people to like me. And so, being in that, I will suppress a lot of my authentic emotions so that people can like me, right? So that I'm, a people pleaser. And suppressing those emotions, even when it got to me starting again, that's the spiritual journey, I still was suppressing emotions because I was like, hey, I gotta stay positive. I gotta stay positive. All I gotta do is stay positive and I'm good. And that's not it. Like now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, I was sacrificing really accepting all of me for the sake of being fake positive. And like that's ultimately the focus and importance of this spiritual journey is authenticity. Is your authentic, intuitive, internal flow. Your authentic spiritual flow. Because the thing is, us being here, we're automatically on a spiritual journey. We just don't know socially and in this world, in this society that we're on a spiritual journey. But we're automatically on a spiritual journey. It's just that when we come into consciousness and when we awaken, we are now aware of the spiritual journey. But we was always on a spiritual journey, right? So the spiritual journey is not just about manifesting, staying positive, releasing certain mindsets and being sovereign. The ultimate purpose of your spiritual journey is to find your natural and authentic traits, the good and the bad, and learning acceptance and displaying of them all. So it's very important here, and I wanted people to be clear on that. That when it comes to your lower level traits, when it comes to certain traits that you might not like or that you kind of cringe about on the inside, and so you try to suppress them or you try to kind of hide it from people or you try to avoid situations that don't put you, that don't bring up that part of you, you're not there. If you're doing that, that means you're not accepting aspects of yourself. And if you're not accepting aspects of yourself, you will never be whole. And I'm sorry to say, no, I'm not sorry to say, I'm just maybe sorry that you might be feeling a type of way about it, but I'm not really even sorry about that. But it's all about being real with who you are, whether it's some dirty, nasty shit, whether it's some clean, squeaky shit, You gotta really be okay with who you are. But the problem is, a lot of us will not be okay with who we are because we're stuffing it down or we're distracting ourselves with a lot of things to not face who we truly are. Or now I get this part, but it's still not healthy. A lot of us, we try to avoid the guilt of feeling like we're bad in this area, because the concept of good and bad really doesn't exist. It's about what serves you and what doesn't serve you internally and intuitively and spiritually. But because you put in your mind that it was bad, that's what you're gonna feel. And so a lot of us, we don't want to feel the guilt, because guilt is really a heavy feeling that we really should not keep on, and we should make sure that we're constantly releasing if we feel it. So a lot of us, I understand that we're not trying to feel any guilt uh within us, or we're not trying to let a guilty feeling build up within us, so we don't try to face that aspect. We don't try to face that we might be a bad person in that area, right? So we're trying to avoid seeing that side of ourselves so that we don't feel that guilt. And while I agree with you that it's not good to feel that guilt or keep guilt within you, I do not agree to avoid that feeling of guilt, because you can feel that feeling of guilt and release it. Okay. The thing is, you have to learn into all of yourself. You have to learn into those shadow sides that you can't see, those shadow sides that come up in relationships, those shadow sides that come up when you least expect it, that come up when something happens out of the blue to you, or that makes you um, create limiting beliefs around things. You got to dig down into that. And that's what the shadow work is all about. And when you do the shadow work, you find that it's really not a such thing as flaws. It's just about your traits. Now, you may consider them higher vibrational traits or lower vibrational traits, but they're still all of you. I had somebody comment and say on one of my videos one time and said that, well, if you go into a lower vibration, you're no longer God, or you're no longer within your God self. And I'm like, thank you for the build, because I always appreciate somebody's perspective, even if it's different. But I don't see it as that. And that's the problem. People put God into a box, right? People put God into this limiting box. God is not just higher vibrational traits. God is wholeness. God is everything. Let's even think about it even if we think about it from a religious standpoint or a Christianity standpoint. Does God not have wrath? Did they not say God is jealous? Did they not say, God will definitely make you feel if you don't do right by him? Those are lower vibrational traits. But guess what? It's still God. So you're not outside of your God self when you experience low vibrational traits. You're outside of your God self when you don't accept that you have lower vibrational traits. And that's the problem. So the point is releasing guilt of having flaws, because flaws ultimately really don't exist. Flaws do not exist. That is that again concept of good and bad, strengths and weaknesses. It's not a weaknesses. Now, it's not a weakness. Now, even in your lower vibrational traits, the key is learning how to maneuver and transmute and use them. So that brings me to this current state of my current state of my particular journey of consciousness. And that is accepting and displaying all of my shadow self, all of my lower level traits, even if some people think they fucking selfish, even if some people think I'm a bad person because of it, even if whatever, because at the end of the day, it's me. And I'm not gonna reject parts of me just so you can accept me. I gotta be okay with myself. That's where the true manifestation comes, when you find that love and acceptance from yourself. That's where the true wholeness comes in it. So some aspects of when you start to learn into yourself and continue to dig into those shadows and say, oh hey, okay, I do this when I'm hurt, or I get defensive when someone misunderstands me, or I have rage when I feel this or when I feel that. Instead of pushing those traits away and wishing I was calmer and wishing I was somebody else in this moment, what you do is you channel those things into something else. Some aspects of your shadow self are not always meant to be healed or changed, but accepted and used strategically. Okay? Um, let me give you an example. If you have rage, if you know that you have rage, when you have rage, removing yourself from certain environments and placing yourself in environments that will help you release the rage. So, like taking your ass to the gym, or getting you a boxing bag or whatever for the house, or something like that. Like when you learn these traits about yourself, you learn how to maneuver instead of pushing those away about yourself, because you don't want to face that you have that about yourself, or you don't want to face that you're a bad person. Like, you can't do that, because the more you push traits of yourself away, good or bad, you're going to reject wholeness. You're never going to be whole anytime, even if it's one trait about yourself that you're pushing away. Okay? You have to understand and find the acceptance in a trait, because when you find the acceptance in a trait, you can then open your mind up to say, okay, how can I strategically move in this? Okay, how can I strategically move in this? So, like, for example, I have my Chiron and Gemini, I have a defensive nature. I'm just I get defensive a lot. So me knowing that, I used to notice it, but I used to try to be somebody else with it. I used to be like, let me just stop being defensive. Let me just, what I'm saying, not do that. And that caused me to suppress my emotion, which causes buildup within, right? When you suppress emotion. So once I learned that about myself, I said, okay, hey, well, if I'm defensive by nature, how can I better channel this, and how can I better maneuver this when I get defensive? So now when I get defensive, instead of popping off, or instead of suppressing, I ask questions. That's what I put in the when I get defensive, I ask questions for clarity. And that helps me process the emotion of defensiveness. You see what I'm saying? And it also helps me accept all of myself. And so that puts me in a position where can't nobody make me feel bad about myself. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I know that I'm going to have integrity in what I do, regardless of my lower level traits. And sometimes, a lot of the times, your lower level traits are there to protect you when it's needed, right? So, when I get past a certain point of defensiveness because somebody has insulted me or somebody has pushed past my boundary, I have to now I have to, instead of trying to people please to stay in the conversation, I have to now put myself in self protection mode and remove myself from the environment, okay? That I can process my emotion find myself at that point. And so there are aspects about us sometimes that are not meant to be changed. And we so busy on this self-development journey that we always trying to change what we consider bad traits. And what we are ultimately doing is rejecting ourselves. And you're never going to be whole when you do that. And so I was just looking at this show with my daughter. I forgot what it's called. It's on PBS. Eleanor Wonders Why, right? And I was like, this is so funny that I see this right before I wanted to do this video. And they were talking about a spittle bug. They were saying how the spittle bug covers itself in a bubble because it's small. It covers itself in a bubble to protect itself from birds or other predators. So when I think in terms of that spittlebug, right? Okay, instead of the spittlebug hating the fact that he's small, hating the fact that he can't fight, hating the fact that all he has to do is run and hide, he maneuvers properly to protect himself from predators. And he covers and gets in protection mode and puts himself in a safe environment. So you have to do that when you have to do that. But you don't know when you have to do that until you dig into the different traits of yourself to understand what environments you need to put yourself in and how you need to maneuver in these environments, okay? And so I want you guys to consider that. Not trying to force your way and fake your way into positivity because you don't want to face these emotions or face these lower level feelings or face these lower level traits about yourself. No, dig into that shit. Dig into it so that you dig into those emotions. Let those emotions process. React if you have to react. And then sit and then take a step back and assess why did I react this way? What is behind this? What is the root to why I reacted this way? Okay, how can I better maneuver to place myself in a safe environment? Because we be wanting to other people to put us in a safe environment. Nobody's going to put you in a safe environment if you haven't put yourself in a safe environment. You teach people how to treat you. So if you haven't put yourself in a position for safety, then why would they make it safe for you? You haven't made it safe for yourself. And in order to make things safe for yourself, you got to know when and where and how it is appropriate to acquire safety. And in order to do that, you have to study into, learn into, dig into the shadow aspects of yourself. That comes with learning your astrology. Astrology is not the end all be all to say, hey, okay, this is me, and that's just how I'm gonna be. Astrology is there to tell you, okay, this is where I'm potentially good at. This is where I find it hard at, and I find obstacles at. And so, okay, what can I do to channel better in this area? But if you don't learn into yourself, you're not going to find that. So astrology is another way into learn into yourself. But astrology doesn't take the place of shadow work. Like before I learned the importance of astrology, I started doing the shadow work. So I kind of went the hard way, and I was like, oh damn. And then when I looked at my astrology and I started understanding astrology, I was like, oh damn, well, I learned this last year about myself because I started the shadow work process and digging into myself, studying and learning into myself, and ultimately accepting myself. You cannot accept yourself and be whole without studying, digging, and truly learning into yourself. That's the prerequisite into truly accepting yourself. And so I want y'all to really consider that. And it's not an easy thing. It's definitely going to be, something tough, but it's okay. You don't have to shy away from tough just to be positive and be on a high vibration. I'm going to stay positive on a high vibration because that's not authentic and you're not going to find wholeness in that at all. So if you want to find wholeness, if you want assistance in guiding you through that shadow work process and guiding you through that studying and finding and learning into all of your traits so that you can accept yourself and again find that wholeness, I would encourage you to book an alignment coaching with me today. Okay. You can book that on artisticalignment.com. Okay. And if you're not ready to book a coaching, you can always also look into our alignment tools where they will assist you in preparing your aura and your mindset for the work, okay, as you get into the work, okay, because it's not going to be a tough thing. We have customized essential oil sprays, and we have them coming by. They come by they set themselves, and they also come in a kit. Okay. We also have shirts and things, affirmation shirts and things like that. And so we also have more products to come, like the alignment adornments jewelry that I currently have on. Their crystals, customized crystal jewelry, in which they are also infused in essential oils. Okay. So if you're not ready for an alignment coaching, which I definitely would encourage for you if you're at this point in the journey, if you're not ready for that, at least get you some tools that are going to help and prepare you to try to do the work on your own. Because either way, you're going to have to do the work, whether you get the coaching or not. Okay. So I definitely encourage you to go to artisticalignment.com and come back to my channel. Look at any of the videos that you may have missed. I'm sure that they can assist you along on this transition of spirituality and awakening journey. Okay. Thank you so much. Again, I am Bonnie Anahata, the aligner. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. All right. Peace.